Ladies and gentlemen, how do you do? Welcome to another video here on the channel. So today is a very sad day for the city of New York and for the United States of America. We have unfortunately lost 5 lives. That is the 4 young innocent lives and another additional life, of which it is the life of the assailant himself. This is yet another case of gun violence that continues to bedevil America to this day. So people are enraged about this new development and have reacted. They have aired their opinions on various social media platforms, and today with me are a number of what many Americans are saying. Please sit back and let us watch their opinions.
Here's everything we know about the 27-year-old gunman who's killed 4 people, including a Blackstone executive and an NYPD officer, before taking his own life in a Midtown shooting spree. In his suicide note, he blamed the NFL and CTE for his injuries, even though he's never played in the NFL. So the shooter has been identified as Shane Tamura of Las Vegas, and he opened fire inside 345 Park Avenue on Monday evening and was armed with an assault rifle. After killing an NYPD officer and 3 others in the building's lobby on 33rd floor, he turned the gun on himself. Police say they found a suicide note in which he referenced CTE, which is a brain condition linked to repeated head trauma, and accused the NFL of concealing the dangers of football. Now, it's important to note that the building the shooter targeted does have an NFL office in it. Investigators claim that he had a history of mental health issues, but no ties to the NFL beyond playing high school football. Now, Shane Tamura had driven across country to New York just a few hours before the attack. He completely abandoned his job as a casino security guard in Las Vegas, and authorities recovered multiple weapons, ammunition, and medication from his car, along with a valid Las Vegas issued concealed carry permit. Surveillance footage showed him calmly walking into the building with his rifle before the shooting happened. Now, this attack was a 3rd mass shooting in the United States within just 24 hours following a deadly incident in Reno, Nevada, and a hospital shooting earlier that same day.
There was just an active shooting right outside of my apartment in New York City. The guy had an AR-15, cops were injured, multiple people were injured. It's still going down if you could hear it. But I just don't understand, because I thought New York City was a gun-free zone. So you're telling me that putting up a big sign that says this is a gun-free zone doesn't actually stop bad guys from getting weapons? Who would have thought? I'm just really thankful to the NYPD and the FBI for working together and mobilizing so quickly. And I'm extra thankful that we do not have Mom Donnie as mayor yet, who would have sent in mental health care workers. This is what globalizing the Intifada looks like. Pure violence. The NYPD deserves extra funding, and every single New Yorker should be entitled to our constitutional right to own a gun. It's crazy. The no guns allowed sign in New York apparently only means for the good guys.
MAGA influencers are already using the tragic shooting in New York City yesterday as a political talking point. And of course, people like Charlie Kirk, whose gums are bigger than his head, making him quite difficult to look at, are hopping on that train. In this shooting, 4 people were killed, including an NYPD police officer. So Charlie Kirk naturally responds to it by saying, "Was just in NYC all weekend with our family. Never felt safe. So many people in the city who don't belong, praying for all involved." Here's the fact of the story that really doesn't fit Charlie Kirk's narrative. The shooter was a native-born American citizen who lived in Nevada. The police officer who was killed was an immigrant from Bangladesh, Officer Islam, who put his life on the line defending people. See, people like Charlie Kirk think that heroes like Officer Islam don't belong in the United States. So when he comes to New York City, which is a melting pot, people from different backgrounds, different identities, different ethnicities, and he sees a population that's not 99% white, he gets a little scared. These MAGA commentators will always bring it back to immigration and vulnerable communities. Instead of talking about policies that could prevent this, like gun control, Charlie Kirk says, no, it's the people that don't belong. What a sack of crap.
All right, guys, we have some breaking news and a huge update out of New York City regarding that mass shooting event. 5 people are dead, including a New York City police officer, and at least 6 more people are injured, and authorities say that that number may rise. The suspect has been identified as 27-year-old Shane Tamura of Las Vegas. One of the victims was a police officer, like I said, working a paid security detail inside the building. That officer was seen being carried out by fellow NYPD officers while they performed CPR in the street, and unfortunately, he did not survive. Tamira reportedly made his way up to the 33rd floor, where he was later found dead from a self-inflicted wound. Surveillance footage captured him carrying the weapon through the building before barricading himself inside an office with others still trapped. Blood was seen on the rifle. His vehicle with Nevada plates was found nearby with a rifle case inside. Law enforcement from the NYPD, FBI, and bomb squad all responded. The building and surrounding blocks remained locked down as the investigation continues. And again, like I said in a previous video, just hours before this, another shooting happened across the country outside of a casino in Reno, Nevada. Multiple people were hurt there too. So 2 cities, 1 country, 1 day. This story is still developing. I'll keep you guys updated with every confirmed detail.
So it's a lot of things that's strange about this situation that just took place in New York City. The shooter, Shane Tamora, literally drove all the way from Las Vegas, Nevada to New York City to do what he did. Mind you, when he gets to New York City, he parks his car, gets out his car, and walks down the block with that assault rifle out just like that. At the time that he did it, everybody that lives in New York City knows that that is a very busy area. So he was able to walk past people with that assault rifle without anybody detecting it. And for the people that did detect it and tried to do something about it, meaning call the police, etc., I'm guessing they wasn't too successful. Okay, so he walks in the building and opens fire immediately, hitting a police officer and other people. The shit that's strange though is this. He gets in the elevator and takes the elevator to the 33rd floor. And while on the 33rd floor, remember the number 33, he takes his life. Now, strange thing is this. They say they found a 3-page note basically stating that he has issues with his head, meaning he has mental issues, meaning that he had received some injuries via football. And this is where the NFL comes into play. He never played for the NFL, but I'm guessing from what the note was saying that he might have held the NFL accountable for what he did. Maybe, maybe not. Police in Las Vegas search his place, find a group of things. They confirmed that he has mental health issues. Now here's my question. He had a license to carry a firearm in Las Vegas, but he also had a history of mental health issues. How was he able to get that firearm license when he had mental health issues? Again, this man drove all the way from Las Vegas to New York. He had multiple weapons in his car. He also had medication in his car. Mind you, in Las Vegas, police will call multiple times for a person in mental health distress, and that person was him. This man claimed to have traumatic brain issues. And again, he mentioned the NFL numerous times. And the headquarters of the NFL is at 345 Park Avenue. I want you to do the math on that. I'm out.
My pattern recognition wants y'all to know that something's off. Something's off. Because in what world does a black appearing, we don't know where he's from, man with 4C curl can casually stroll down the street, not any street, a midtown street, Park Avenue and 51st Street, broad daylight, rush hour, 6 p.m., everybody getting off of work. He can stroll down the street in a jacket, and it's hot as hell, carrying a pew-pew the size of his leg. And nobody sees something or says something. Even this still, there's no one in the vicinity, which is very hard to believe for Midtown, because there is always someone sharing a sidewalk with you in Midtown. He was able to casually stroll into this giant building that houses huge corporations, do his damage that easily, take himself out within minutes. And I'm just supposed to believe that I'm just supposed to believe that story. We just supposed to believe that, yeah, there is something off about it. I don't know what it is, but something is off. Something is off.
So ladies and gentlemen, as per police reports, the assailant goes by the name of Shane Devon Tamura, who is a resident of Las Vegas, and he is 27 years old. So allegedly, he drove from Las Vegas to New York in a black BMW, and with him was a rifle, a loaded revolver, ammunition, magazines, a backpack, and medicine prescribed for his condition. As per reports from sources, police sources that retrieved a note from his wallet, Shane Devon Tamura wanted to target the NFL headquarters that was located at a 44-story building located at 345 Park Avenue. On Monday at 6:30 p.m., he exited his black BMW with the rifle. He headed towards the said building, and shortly before entering, he fired his weapon at an off-duty police officer of the NYPD named Officer Islam. So Officer Islam succumbed to his injuries, and also when he entered the building, that is Devon Tamura, he went firing shots, and he actually hit a security guard who was unarmed, and the security guard tried to hide behind the desk, but he was hit fatally and he passed on from his injuries. So on his way to the elevator, he actually encountered one woman, but he didn't hurt the woman. He let the woman escape without firing any rounds at her. So he proceeded to enter the elevator, went up to the 33rd floor, whereby the headquarters, as it is said, of Blackstone are located. He fired his weapons at an employee of Blackstone and also went ahead to fire his weapons at an employee of Rudin Management. So the officer who was hit and unfortunately murdered goes by the name of Didarul Islam. He is Bangladeshi by descent and he is 36 years old. Behind, he leaves a young wife with 2 young sons and also an unborn child. So unfortunately and very sadly enough, these 2 young children and a baby who is on the way will be forced to grow up without a father. That is indeed a very serious development. I cannot emphasize that enough. It is very sad. It really breaks my heart to think about that. And also, another person that was murdered, as I've said, was an unarmed security guard who was at the lobby, who has worked in this building since 2019. He goes by the name of Alan Etienne. So these were 2 male victims of this shooting. The other 2 who were gunned down at the 33rd floor were female. Specifically, Wesley Lepatna, who is an employee of Blackstone, a company that doubles in the finance sector, and also Julia Hyman, who works at Rudin Management. She actually graduated from Cornell University, summa cum laude. As you can see, this is a very brilliant person who has just had her life brutally cut short. So 2 victims were female, 2 victims were male. And there was also another person who was gunned down but is currently at the hospital fighting for his life. And the person is associated with the National Football League. So it is claimed that he wanted to target the NFL because the NFL, they are not treating cases of CTE very seriously. That people who play in the NFL, they may get multiple head injuries or severe trauma to the head, causing the disease called CTE, which can be a very serious case. Yet, according to this assailant, the NFL just hangs the athletes out to dry. After they are diagnosed with this disease, this issue is not addressed loud enough, so they are left to fend for themselves. So this young man who was agitated and disillusioned wanted on his part to make a statement to the NFL, and he proceeded to do the unthinkable. So because of that, we have many bereaved families, and my heart really goes out to the families of those that have been affected. So the issue of gun violence is an issue that really bedevils America. And Zohran Mamdani, the man who wants to clinch the New York mayoral seat, has also received significant backlash because one of his policies was that he wanted to defund the police. And as you can see, this is an example of a crime that goes by when laws and regulations are laxed. As you can see, the NYPD, the FBI, they are really at the government's beck and call. They are normally ready to put down such cases and ensure that it never happens. But in this case, whereby New York is a gun-free city, a person wants to become the future mayor, wants to defund the police, as you can see, it can lead to increased cases of crime in the city. And as you've also heard from a number of Americans, that this issue seems to be made up, that is it really normal for someone to just walk in the streets bearing a rifle in one hand in broad daylight, yet people just go about their business? Like, how is that possible? Make it make sense. So these are just the new developments that are currently ongoing. So as we speak now, the police have issued a search warrant for the property of the assailant Devon Tamura in Las Vegas. They want to retrieve pieces of evidence and build upon this ongoing case. So ladies and gentlemen, I would like to extend my condolences to the families of these victims that have unfortunately lost their lives, and to the victims, we pray that may God rest their souls in eternal peace. So ladies and gentlemen, that has been it for me. Let me know about what you think of this new development down in the comment section, and also please let me know what you think of today's video. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to share. It has been a pleasure talking to you and updating you today. So ladies and gentlemen, have a nice time and cheers and peace.